Announcement. It is officially our 3-year anniversary. Yeah, 3 years. Can you believe? Well, I can't believe it. 3 years ago, I launched Get Into Flow, the mindset shifting podcast. It was launched on February 22nd, 2022, 2022. There was an intention behind that, all the angel numbers. And since then, in 3 years, we've had 4 seasons. We're in our fourth season. We've had 122 episodes, 62 guests. Yes, I'm so honored to have met and interviewed these wonderful people, and we're still going strong. We're in the second half of our season 4. There are more guests coming, more solo episodes. And today, you know what? I didn't script anything. I often don't script. I have ideas and I just talk through because y'all know me by now. I just like to talk. But today I did not prepare anything because I just wanted to come on from my heart space in a grounded place, be present with you all, and just be grateful for where this journey has led me. Because I started this podcast out of curiosity, out of pure exploration, out of a desire to try something new and to just go with the flow. Hence, get into flow, to just let this opportunity bring me where it needed to bring me. And let me tell you, it's brought me to all the places I could have never even planned for, which is why I love to be in flow so much, where we can get out of our headspace, we can get out of all the planning, out of the rigid conformities and that box that we like to put ourselves in or that society likes to put us in, and just be open to explore the potential that we have by just showing up, doing what feels right, and seeing where that brings us. And so that approach and that mindset and that ability to just allow myself to take this as a journey of expansion, of playfulness, of joyfulness, inviting people on the show who I feel have something important and interesting to talk about and who I feel a connection with. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, there is an application process. I take this very seriously. I don't just want to invite anybody on the show. I want to make sure that the people who come on the show to speak to you all, to share with you all, are coming from a very pure place, who have something unique to share with you all. And I think up until now, it's been pretty wild. I've interviewed some amazing people. Like I said, 62 people have been on the show. And if you missed any episodes of our 122 episodes, go back because they're all there for you. They're for you to listen, they're for you to enjoy. And what I love is meeting these people just brings brand new perspectives every single time. Their life experiences really contribute something so unique to our view. That's what the intention was for me, to invite people on the show to help me change my perspective. Because it's great if you're hearing from me and my view on life and mindset and how to shift and how to reframe, but you're still just hearing from one person. So I love the idea of bringing on these people who have experienced healing journeys and personal development journeys in their own way and who are now perhaps in a position of being a coach or a mentor or a motivational speaker, who are doing the work to give back based on what they've learned, what they've experienced, and inviting them to just share their story, share what they do. It helped me to see things in a different way as well. It helped me to open my eyes to say, hey, like I never thought about that way. And maybe it's something I was thinking a certain way for so long. So the opportunity to hear from other people is a beautiful way to open your mind and your heart to what else is possible out there. And that's really all I want to do with this show, is to give you options, is to leave you with an open mind, is to challenge you to think different, to see something in a different way, to change your perspective, to know that if you are in a position that you no longer want or that you are no longer happy with, you have the power to change it. I think that's the biggest message that I want you to take away from this podcast, is that these are tools that can help you to change in any capacity that you feel is necessary. So you can change as big as entire lifestyle and career, like I did, or you can start with small habits, journaling, connecting to your emotions, just maybe negative self-talk, shifting that to positive self-talk. Like there's so many abilities and opportunities to change in our life that I just want you to be open to that option, to the potential that you can have once you do start implementing these changes. Because change is inevitable. We evolve. We are human beings. Change is happening all around us. And if we try to stay where we were, and stay safe in that comfort zone without being open to adapting in the way that we need to either survive in the world, but also to be our best selves, then we're doing ourselves a huge disservice. So the message here is give yourself permission to make those changes in the capacity that they need to be in, meaning as big or as small as they need to be. Give yourself permission to make those changes, to alter your approach, your life. And change on the outside always starts with change within. So if you're looking for external change, if you're looking for your circumstances to change, you need to start with yourself. You need to start with deep down, how can you make small changes within yourself to help you impact your outward or your external world? We often look to change everything around us, which I think by now, if you've been listening to me for this 122 episodes, I think you know what I'm about to say. We have zero control over everything else and everybody else. The only thing we can control is ourselves. So why not start with, am I living my best self? Am I living up to my potential? What does that mean? Living up to my potential. That means, do you wake up and feel like you have meaning, have purpose? Do you wake up in the morning and feel like you are exactly where you're meant to be? Or do you wake up in the morning and feel like something's missing? Or at the end of the day, when you look back on what you've done during the progress of just one day, do you feel like it's matching and aligned with who you are? Do you feel proud of like, hey, I get to do this every day? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel like, oh, there must be more than just this? Do you feel like you're on autopilot? Do you feel like you're just going through the motions and you're not even consciously aware of what you're doing anymore? These are all important questions to start asking yourself. And if you find yourself in a position where you're disconnected from who you are, from what you do, and if you feel the longing and the calling for more, know that that is possible for you. Know that that is not out of reach. We often feel like, oh, well, who am I to want more? I have a good life, quote unquote. Why would I want more in my life? Because you're human. And if there's something that doesn't align or something that you want to go after, do it. It's your life. And I think I've said that sentence in my last like 10 podcast episodes because I want to make sure that you understand that you have one life and you are in charge. I'm not in charge of it. Your partner, your parents, your friends, your teachers, your boss, these people are not in charge of your life. So why are we letting them take control? Why are we letting them make decisions based on what their needs are? And we forget to consider ourselves. So, this is what I want you to reflect on. Is there something in your life that could use a little tweaking? Let's start with that. What could be tweaked? What could be gently modified to make it more optimal for you? When we say change, it's scary because it's unfamiliar. It's not scary because you're not capable. It's scary because we don't know what that looks like. We are comfortable in our routine, in what we've been doing for so long, even in our patterns. They could even be self-sabotaging, but if it's a pattern that you're used to, the familiar is the comfort zone. So I want you to start thinking of what can you do to just invite the uncertainty, the unfamiliar. What could you do to take a step towards something new? And the mentality and the mindset that I want you to have with that is just give it a try. There are no expectations, there's no pressure, there's no fear of failure because you're not putting any benchmark there, any success metric there. You're really just allowing yourself to do something new, to try, the willingness to try, which Mel Robbins, we love her. She actually defined confidence as the willingness to try. I love when she speaks about confidence. Go listen to her podcast if you haven't already. She has a whole episode, many episodes on confidence, but her view of what confidence is so interesting to me because it really boils down to, yes, the willingness to try. What that means is that you're willing to put yourself out there, to do something different, to be in an uncomfortable place, to be in an unfamiliar place. And once you do that, you prove to yourself, regardless of the outcome, you prove to yourself that you can do these hard things, that you can do these uncomfortable things. And over time, that proof compounds and builds into confidence because then you can trust yourself and say, like, hey, yeah, I've done it before. I could do it again. So you have the confidence to be able to try something new. So if we look at these opportunities as just give yourself permission to try, be willing to try something new. And let's start small. Let's start with habits. Maybe you're going to increase the amount of water that you drink. And what could you do to help yourself? Maybe you have a glass that's always close by that you refill, or you track the number of glasses that you drink, or maybe you have a bottle. They have so many bottles now that have indicators of like how much you should drink during the day, but something that you can use to help yourself to track the progress. Maybe if you're trying to be consistent with your workout routines, and notice my pattern is centered around health because it's all within, you want to take care of yourself first. Maybe that means that you're going to get a habit tracker. You're going to get a sheet and you're going to check off every time you do a workout, and you're going to aim for 3 times a week. Maybe you're someone who does 3 times a week already and you want to improve, so you add a day. Don't try to add 3 days, 1 day at a time. And this is coming back to what I've been saying for so long, and what I always love to talk about, one small step. What is that one step you could take to do something differently? Maybe it's even just changing your thought pattern. Maybe it's something like you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on social media, and you feel imposter syndrome, or you feel the wrath of comparison start to build within you. Instead of falling down that rabbit hole and getting caught up with, why am I not doing that? Or look at them and I'm not good enough and I can never do that. Like they're already doing it. You see how far this can spiral? Instead of letting yourself get to that point, why not catch yourself and say, wait a second, how can I look at this differently? First of all, do I just turn it off? Do I put my phone aside and go do something more productive? Maybe. If you have that kind of willpower, yes. Or is it a matter of changing your thoughts? Instead of comparing yourself and feeling less than that person, what if we can look at that and say, hey, if she's doing it, she's showing me that I could do it too. How could we use comparison to inspire us instead of derail us down the failure train? How could we use comparison to show us the possibility of what could be for us? So, yeah, she's doing that. Yeah, she's doing all the things, but if she can do it, so can you. But you do it in your own way. So, you take what you like from her or him or anybody, you take what you like from them. And you see what works for you and you turn it inward to yourself. So you take that external point of view, you flip it, and you say, okay, what do I want? Often, when we look externally and we start comparing ourselves, then we're seeing all the ways that we are not as good as somebody else. But what if we can stop that negative talk and instead look at all the positives that we are maybe seeing from that person and what we like and what we could do for ourselves? So you're still using that comparison as a benchmark to like, how can I be like that as well? Because to shift completely around takes time. So let's start with one small step and just say, instead of saying, why am I not good enough? Say, what do I like? Or what is that bringing up in me? Why am I taking it personal? Why is there something that's coming up emotionally? Or why am I feeling this way? It means that there's something to be said about what this person's doing and maybe encouraging me to do it too and do it in my own way. So let's look at comparison as potential, as opportunity, as a way to motivate us to do what someone else is doing. But again, how can you do it in your own way? So these kind of mindset shifts and reframes, I'm all for it. It's my life's work. I'm dedicating all of my time to it. And this comes through in this podcast, in my coaching, in all of the ways that I show up. And I'm here to help people and to serve people, even in my dance classes. So I'll often use mindset shifting and reframing, even the way that I speak to my students. I'll even use it when I enter the class or I enter the studio. I read the energy. I feel into what's going on today. And let's say I had a certain plan for the class. If I arrive and I'm feeling a different energy that does not align with what I had in mind, I will shift, I will adapt. I think that's a responsibility of the teacher or the facilitator or whoever's in that position who's about to lead a group or a class. You need to be aware of what their state is, what their energy is, and will they be receptive to receiving your information? Because chances are, if you're coming in with a very clear lesson plan, and their mental and emotional state is not about it, there's absolutely nothing you'll be able to do. You could be the best teacher, facilitator, workshop instructor, whoever in the world. If they are not ready to receive the message, it will not pass. So what I like to do is I like to just see where are we at? And maybe do we need to have a little conversation? Do we need to vent a little bit? Do we need to change our emotions? Do we need to shake it out? And then we'll be receptive. But the importance here is being open to adapt. And that's where change comes in again. Change your mind, change your structure. If you approach things from a rigid place, you will be met with resistance from the people you are facilitating for and within yourself. My best advice for anyone in that position is to be able to adapt in the moment. Be able to have options within yourself and be so at ease with what you want to teach and what you want to share, but not be tied to the how or the exact way that it's going to come about. It's to really be a master of your craft, to be amazing at what you do, to be an expert in what you do, and then find the way to communicate it effectively. And it might not look like what you thought, but trust me, if you come from a more intentional place, it will land better. Even for these podcasts, I don't script them. I do not. I tried once. I was so much in my head. I listened back and I was like, wow, this does not feel like it's me. It feels like I'm reading something. And that's why I don't like scripting. I like to be raw and real with you, like right now. Like, I didn't know this podcast episode was going to turn this way, but here we are, right? So we're here just speaking. And I think that's the beautiful part of just having this platform to have this open conversation with you. And I am well aware that in a conversation, there are at least two people, and right now I'm just one. But I know that you're listening to me, so I include you in my conversation. And as always, I invite you to reach out to me. I want to be able to have a dialogue. So if there's something here that resonates, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, reach out to me on social media, DM me, let me know what else you want me to talk about, because clearly I could talk forever on whatever topic, but I'd love to hear from you, my loyal listeners. Thank you for being here. Here's the moment of gratitude for you. Thank you for being here. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hopping on this mindset shifting bandwagon. If you have been here since the beginning, thank you, my loyal listener. You are why I do this. You are why I'm still here. It's quite the wild experience because I'm here sitting talking to my computer in my office all alone, and I have no idea who exactly is listening, but I know you are. So I'm speaking to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for wanting to learn more about yourself, about how to shift your mindset, how to get into that flow state that I always talk about, how to be a better version of you. If it resonated deeply within you and you feel like change is in the horizon, but you're not sure how to get there, you're unclear on where to start, maybe you're confused, maybe you're scared, and that's totally valid. Everything that's coming up right now is coming up for a reason. So I invite you, instead of judging the why that you're feeling this way, get curious. What is it within you that is maybe wanting more? And if the fear is coming up, that's just your brain trying to keep you safe. So know that you are okay. You are safe. And tell yourself, I am safe in this moment, to allow your feelings to truly express the information that they are telling you. They want you to know something very important about yourself, and that's your intuition speaking as well. They want to send you a message that maybe we're too overwhelmed to hear because we're in our minds, we're head tripping, we're listening to the external validation, the noise. So, how can we drop into our body, into our heart space, and just be open to receiving these feelings as information, as indicators of what your next move can be? And if your next move is reaching out for support, know that that's exactly what I'm here to do for you. I am here to guide you, to help you, to empower you, to listen within and find all the answers that are already there. You maybe just need someone like me to help you uncover what those answers are. This is the work that brings me the most joy in my life, coaching and teaching dance. So if you're interested in coaching, reach out to me. If you want to take a dance class and you're in the Montreal area, reach out to me. We can make that happen too. Let me know what you need, and I am here for you. Until then, I will continue to bring you these podcast episodes to help you embrace change. And again, change comes in a variety of ways. The way I like to start is inward. How can you notice your thoughts, which then influence your feelings, your actions, and over time, your identity? Let's start there and let's make an impact so that we can create the best life that we could possibly live.